Today's guest is a returning guest, and I wanted to bring her back because she has a great story and a fantastic business. And it's all fully online. I personally love fully online businesses because I'm a big advocate of this. After all, my own business is all about the digital world. Hello and welcome to Season 7 of the Womanpreneur Asia podcast, and I'm your host, Krista Gun. My mission is to uncover the stories and strategies of Asian women entrepreneurs in Asia to help you as you navigate your own business journey. This episode is sponsored by Redbox Studio. Today I'm speaking to Michelle Hon, who is the founder of MomBoss Academy in Singapore. If her name sounds familiar, she was featured in Season 4, Episode 8. So if you want to know her backstory of how she ended up starting this business, check that episode out. Today though, Michelle and I are going deep into her business. We're going to talk about motherhood and the art of building a business, a lifestyle business, as Michelle calls it, right from home. This is a conversation that you don't want to miss, but the key thing is that Michelle believes that it is possible for moms to carve out a path for themselves without compromising their family life. This episode is packed with practical takeaways, so remember to listen till the end. Hi Michelle, welcome to Womanpreneur Asia again.
Hi Krista, I'm so honored to be here again. I've been looking forward to this chat with you. It was so fun last time and I look forward to another fun time with you.
Yeah, and Michelle, I know we had a tough time getting to this recording because you had a bit of an emergency. The last round we were supposed to record, so yeah, what with all the storm and everything else happening in your house. So yes. I'm so glad today is a sunny day and we have no rain interrupting.
Yes. Let's finger crossed, no sudden rain or whatsoever. We're in Malaysia, you never know, right?
Yeah.
But it's looking good. Yeah.
So Michelle, I know you've been on my podcast before and we have spoken at length about how you got started in your business. But I guess for those who don't know, could you give like a brief overview of what you do so that if they want to get the long story, they can get to the other episode, which I'll put in the show notes. But if not, could you just tell us what is Michelle doing?
Okay, so currently I am an author, a speaker, and over at MomBoss Academy, I help women entrepreneurs start and grow their businesses from home.
You are a mother and you want to make sure that you are there for them as they are growing up.
They are the reason why I'm doing what I'm doing. Prior to this, for those who did not listen to the prior episode, I was working outside of my home. I had a business outside of my home and that just didn't work for me. So they are the reason why I started my business from home and get to where I am today, really.
And how old are your kids now? I mean, since the last time we recorded.
Oh, wow. So now they are 11, 9, and 7. Very different from the last time we spoke. They're more independent. They require lesser time, or because rather they spend more time at school now. But when they're at home, I reckon at this age, they still need a lot of our attention because as you know, when they go to like teenage years, they probably need lesser and lesser of us. It's going to be harder and harder to reach out to them. And I think that now is the perfect time to sort of build that foundation of a good relationship so that when they become teenager and they have all these other problems and hormones of their own, we're still as connected as ever.
So I think that's a great motivation for you to keep on doing it, right?
Yes, definitely. As I started to help more and more women, especially moms out there, I find that I'm not alone in this journey, right? I'm not alone I'm not the only woman who wants a career of my own and also being there for our kids. So it's pretty much a universal sort of want and purpose.
For those who are listening and you want to find out more about Michelle and how she came to start her business, you can go and refer to the episode, which I'll put in the show notes anyway. But today we're going to talk about MomBoss Academy. So that is the exciting part that I want really to dig into and delve into, and that is why I have Michelle back with me today. Could you just briefly let us know what you offer in MomBoss Academy as programs for these women or moms?
We have been around since 2018. Like, time passes so quickly. So today we have 3 signature programs. So one is called MomBoss Go, where we help women from zero idea to launching the business in 90 days. We have In Demand, where we help women entrepreneurs build their personal brand and also have an automated system that continues to give them leads and sales. We also have Sales Mastery for sales professional to understand the psychology of sales. On top of that, we also have a membership for those who have been through our program and continue to want to coach with me. We have Momentum. So that's more of like a subscription based membership.
Sounds like you have a lot going on.
Well, I think it builds over time. I remember the last time we talked, I probably have way less than this. And it builds over time. And that's how I see a business really, right? Instead of just doing things that's just once off and having to continue to keep doing and doing and doing, how I see running a business is all about adding assets to our business so that it continues to work for us when we are not working. And it's a philosophy, or rather, a fact that people know outside of a professional setting in our personal life, that if you want to grow wealth, you need to build assets, right? Whether in terms of properties or shares or wherever you put your money, you make your money work for you, or business in itself is an asset. But for some reason, when people get into business, and this is a problem that I see many entrepreneurs, not just women, the way they run the business is still as if they're in a job, So the mindset has to change from when you were working from someone else to when you're running your business. So a lot of people on the outside, yes, they are a business owner, but in reality, they're still trading time for money. They're still working just as hard. And if they stop working, the money is not coming in. And that's what In Demand helps people do. And just really think about well, of course, we still have to work in our business. It's not like, hey, I'm just putting my legs up. But make sure that the things that you do is something that works in the long run for the business. It's not something that's like once off. I mean, the once-off functional thing, we kind of have to have those function in our business to make money. But those are some things that you could outsource. Someone else could do it for you.
So for ladies, or not even ladies, I think there are probably men in your program, right?
Yes,
not
we do
just
have
women.
Men.
Okay.
Yeah.
So men and women in your program, and a lot of people I meet always say this, right? I'm not tech savvy. I'm very scared of going online. I'm very worried. I don't know how to do many things. So what's your take on that? Because I'm sure in order to be able to undergo programs, you have to be able to learn some skills, right?
Well, absolutely. It's like, I think the good thing is with tech these days, it's very easy. They have made it so easy that it's just pretty much like drag and drop. There's no need for any coding or anything like that involved. In fact, I have no tech background, right? I built my own website. I still built my own landing page, hook up all the tech things. And if anything, if you really don't know, then there's always help. Whichever platform that you use, they want to keep you. You are the customer. So do reach out for whatever tech support, chat, or they will help you sort it out. So don't ever let, the excuse of, I don't know, therefore I don't do it, right? Just like a child. Can you see a child saying, I don't know how to walk, therefore I refuse to start walking?
I refuse to walk until I'm 5 years old.
Exactly, and I still don't want to because I'm scared of falling, right? You just do it anyway. And I was just sharing this with my kid yesterday. It's a journey. And in fact, mistake is a big part of the journey. Continue to make mistakes. Don't worry about that.
And for your programs, and I see that since you mentioned you have a couple of 3 programs, right? These 3 different programs for different stages.
Yes,
of
different stages.
Yeah, entrepreneurs' growth, right? So let's talk about the first one. How is that program like? I'm very interested. I'm very intrigued too.
So MomBoss Go is because a lot of I do have a number of people reaching out to me online very often and Michelle, I like to do what you're doing. Can you teach me? Or people would reach out to me and say, I want to earn passive income. Can you help me? And I always tell them that there's nothing that's truly passive. It's something that sounds too good to be true. It probably is, but we could set up business, right? Business when you have everything sort of like in place and get it to run without you, it could be passive, right? You don't have to spend 9 to 5. You have all the freedom that you have. You get to decide how much you want to work, where you want to work, and all of that. So that's how MomBoss Go was born, is to help those people who want to start a business, right? People want to start a business, but how? Where do I start? Where do I even begin to start? And the most common mistakes that when people think about starting a business is like, okay, what can I sell? Right? They go to Taobao or they go and do R&D and like start investing a whole lot of money into it, only to realize then they have the products. I don't know how to sell it, where to find the market, right? So what we do in MomBoss Academy is really teach the foundation of now, instead of just going and like find the product and build the website and then marketing it, let's reverse engineer this. Let's learn about what is marketing, right? Who is your target audience? What is the problem? Understand the problem and then go and find or create product or services to cater to that problem. So instead of trying to have, a key and trying to find the door, now you have the door first and go shape the key so that you can open the door. So I think that's a smarter way to go about it. That you already know exactly what is the problem and then create a product. And again, you don't even have to spend a whole tons of money to create that. You can pre-launch it first. Most of my programs, all of my businesses, I always pre-launch it first. Pre-launch meaning just go out there. I mean, in today's world, Instagram, just tell people, I have this. Would you be interested, right? Get a few orders, get people, don't just tell your friends and then your friends will say, of course, if you launch it, I will buy, right? Yeah. Get the money in, oh, really? Do understand that this is not ready, maybe the product would take 2 weeks to come in, but if you pre-order, you get a bit of a discount, right? Get the money in and then go and get your product and then go and create your product so that you have tested your market. There are people who are willing to pay for it before you even launch it. So that's, in a nutshell, what MomBoss Go is.
Oh. And that is also very much needed because I think a lot of people get very excited. The fact that they can source anything online, right? Yes. That they can source means they can sell anything, but sourcing doesn't mean you're selling. Sourcing just means you have this ability to get the product.
Exactly.
The product will very well sit in your storeroom for the next 1 year, right?
Yes, that's the common mistake. A lot of them come in and say, oh my God, Michelle, I wish I met you earlier. I'm exactly that person who did make that mistake that you share, because I share this very often. I really do have a tons of inventory sitting in my storehouse, warehouses, or their own bedroom and unable to move it.
Yeah. And that is where now they start thinking, okay, now how else can I move this? Or how should I move this?
Yeah, and then because they're desperate, what they do is they start discounting, right? And people don't really want things that's like right off the bat discounted, right? There's this marketing psychology that, sure not, that good man, how come big discount, right?
What are other common mistakes that you see happening to people who are excited about an idea, excited to do something, and then they're like all over the place and not too sure how to go now? Like they're going, but they stop, right? They discount, but actually they also stop. Yeah, they also stop a bit, right? Because they're not too sure how to move forward.
Correct. So they just think that all by discount, or they initially, maybe the first launch, the first time they got it in, it's successful because they start selling to friends and family. That's good. First round, successful. They got second batch. Where do I go now, right? And so they're like, okay, people say now Instagram, right? Everyone goes on Instagram or TikTok or whatever it is, whichever platform they decide to go on. And then they start looking at strategy on, if only I get more followers, if only people see more of my posts, I can sell my products, right? But in reality, going viral or having tons of followers doesn't mean that you have a business. Because it could be just attracting or getting views from people who are not your target audience. Then what's the point? So a lot of small business owner who doesn't understand messaging, target audience, finding problem, and using the right words to convince people to at least give it a try, right? Is that they just use social media and they find themselves becoming a content creator. And then they get stressed every day. Oh my God, what content should I put out today? Right? And then that's when most of them would come to me and say, Michelle, I didn't realize that this is what business would take me. Like they found themselves sort of like trapped. They're doing things that they didn't realize they have to do, right? Meaning creating content, which is something that they didn't think of in the first place, having products and just, being in this constant stress and not earning enough money, doing all the things that they have to do themselves in the business and not knowing how to get out of that day to day and build a system that continue to attract leads and sales to them. So most of them don't have that system at all. It's just all like, wake up, okay, today, what post can I post? Hopefully pray and hope someone see my content would DM and want to buy it. And that is not a strategy.
So that's also one of the common mistakes that people make, hoping that by amassing followers, they can get sales and from there they can do more, right?
Correct.
So when you were talking just now about products, we talked about physical, right? I mean, people going online and sourcing products. But we also know that there's this thing called virtual product, right? Yeah. I mean, it's a product that you create, a digital product. So for people who want to create digital products, do you also teach them how to do that?
Yes, inside MomBoss Go. So inside MomBoss Go, we really go into the very first module is about really getting to know yourself first. What are some of the skills? Because a lot of moms, especially those who have been staying at home for a while, they didn't realize that there's actually a lot of skills inside of them. They always come and say, I've got nothing to offer the world. So we take them through a series of questions and steps to find out what they're naturally good at and how could we turn that into possible way of monetization. And then the next steps would be go and test your target audience with that problem, what specific problem that they have, and then find what we call a crunchy solution to help with that problem, right?
Oh, I like the term crunchy solution.
Something that like a real, something crunchy, right? So it's tangible. It's not something that, a lot of people, especially I think these days, you got to the point of digital products, right? Digital products or coaching. A lot of women goes into coaching, which I totally get because I, in a way, it is in the coaching business coaching. But a lot of time when we try to sell, especially coaches, they try, how to say, it's very airy-fairy, What they are trying to offer, like the results that they're offering is very emotional based. Yes, while people are buying coaching, it's not something that as easy as here's a phone, right? What we're selling is invisible. So in order to sell those products, it's actually slightly harder, but the principle is the same. If you know what is the problem and speak to that problem, and then offer a solution, right? It all comes down to your messaging, your copy, what you say, and also what are some of the underlying, we'll call that motivation for that person to take action with you. And that's how you sell your digital product, your coaching one-on-one and all of that. Yeah.
For instance, just say someone comes to you and say, oh, I don't think I have anything in my background experience to create a digital product. Do you have any examples of that from your own students?
Oh yeah, because for MomBoss Go, we already have 10 batches of students through the program. I have so many stories. So I have Felicia, when she first came to me, like just many others. Okay, Felicia is just one of them. She pops up in my mind because she recently launched her business. She came to me and like, oh, I've been a stay-at-home mom. I don't know what I could sell. I don't have the budget to buy a lot of inventory. I'm not fashionable. I'm not great at this. And so, through that questionnaire, we kind of discovered that she is, in fact, been cooking for her children. It's as simple as that, right? A lot of moms tend to devalue, cooking, everyone can cook, what do I know, right? She cooked wholesome meal for her children. She likes cooking, and that her friends tend to ask her about natural remedy for kids who, let's say, cough and they don't want to have Western style cough syrup. She's good in that sort of stuff. She has launched her first product was a herbal chicken wrap kind of thing that can just deliver to you. You just need to warm it up in the oven.
Oh, interesting.
For busy moms. Yeah, so that was her first product. Beyond that, she also have like pre-packaged baby food, for busy moms who, let's say you travel, but your baby just started weaning and you don't want to give them like those packaged, the kind that we used to give. People want to give like all natural and want to ensure that the kids get real actual fruit. Basically, that's what she does. And that was her original idea. People who go on holiday, because she used to go on holiday and is able to do that for her kid. But how often do people go on holiday and eat this kind of thing, right? So then I sort of kind of help her to think about another target audience would be busy working moms. Busy working moms who don't have the time, maybe don't have helper or don't have the blender, or sometimes we just have no idea of what to make for our babies. So then we can sell that as a subscription. You just get fresh batches. It comes frozen, so you just need to go warm it up in, a hot water. So on a weekly basis. So then you get your recurring business from there. So that's just one of the example. Yeah. Small businesses, we're not looking at helping them build a unicorn to, exit at $1 million. But these are small businesses that help women feel fulfilled. And at any time she wants to go on holiday, right? She just, sorry, not taking any more orders, right? Fulfill the orders, go on holiday, come back. Or this season, you're busy, you have a bit of time, then you get busy and market more. And if you're not, then, you can kind of dial it up, dial it down according to whatever you like. So it's like a lifestyle business.
And it's also interesting that you mentioned her story, because we were just talking about digital product. I'm sure the person listening to us will think, but creating digital. So it can also be something as simple as making food, right? It doesn't have to be like something so sophisticated and complex, like, I need to create a digital product. You can also create what you know.
Exactly. We have a lot of bakers. We have a lot of bakers in our program. We had Karen, who lost her job during COVID, and she started baking sourdough breads. So it started off with her physically baking it, but today's beyond baking sourdough bread and selling it. What she does again is on like a weekly open for orders kind of style. It's not every day. If you want, you put in the order, that very weekend she'll bake, and then she deliver out. So fresh to you the next day. And on top of that, now she runs workshop to teach women how to bake sourdough bread for themselves.
So
both
it's not
offline and online.
Yeah, so it's not just like, I have to think of something to create. I mean, I could create something based on what I already know, but I may not know how to tap or leverage what I know, right? So that's where you come in to guide them and to coach them into really thinking strongly about what they can do for themselves and feel empowered, right?
Yes, exactly. It's like, I didn't know that, this is something that is valued and people is willing to pay for. And they feel so excited that, oh my God, people are willing to pay for that, and that become a business. And I think when a mom is happy, a mom is confident, that really affects the next generation. So not only am I, I like to think that not only am I helping the moms, I'm also helping the family, happier family. Kids look at the mom and say, my mom is capable, confident and happy, fulfilled.
And can take care of me at home.
Yes, and still be there.
So the child grows up with a mom in the home with them, right? And at the same time, she gets to earn her own financial independence. And I think that is an important part that we have to address too. I mean, these days, that is sometimes It may not be the first thing that people mention, but it is important.
It is very much. And what really warms my heart is that a lot of these moms, they share on IG story is that they get the kids to help them in their business, cutting out stickers, pasting it on. And that's entrepreneurship since young. I absolutely understand what these women are going through because I went through it myself. Every time they ask me about anything, I'm not just a coach who just teach business. I have my businesses as well. So I'm very well aware of the nitty-gritty to market a business, to sell a product, and what is needed to be done right now. And as we know, the world changes so quickly, right? And like tech and trends changes. So that's why we have momentum to sort of like continue that journey, that coaching, being part of the community where they can go to and ask questions. Because let's face it, entrepreneurship is still not something that everyone has done. It's still the minority of the population who is doing entrepreneurship. But so it could be lonely. You could feel like nobody understands you. So I feel like, having more moms doing it, and definitely that would hopefully inspire more people going for it.
Does it mean that after they complete the MomBoss Go program, they go into other programs, or how does it work?
Well, they could. After MomBoss Go, they could immediately go into in demand. But I'll be very honest that not a lot of people would make the jump immediately. Usually, from zero to startup, they probably take another year to sort of find their footing before they even think about want to learn more to stand out in the industry. So in demand is all about you have been in the trenches for a while, you truly understand your target audience, but now you want to start building assets into your business so that you can have consistent leads coming to you. And not a lot of people are confident with that, or comfortable. A lot of people, when I start, putting in that concept into their head, they're like, I'm not sure I'm ready to stand out. I don't want to be seen, is that self-promotion? And a lot of time is that mental barrier. They're happy with their little business, but sometimes they may never want to make the jump. And that's okay, right? It's your idea of success or business success entirely up to you. But for those who have sort of started, now what? There's a lot of people in this industry. And as we know, any good industry with good money, there will be competitors. And I find that after COVID, the more competitors are there because everyone is online, right? Ad budget has gone up because everyone is online. Another trend that we see is that now consumer want everything on demand because we're so used to, I want to watch a movie, Netflix, right? There's no wait anymore. And there's a study that says that if a potential customer DM you to ask, hey, where are you located? How can I find out more about this? And you don't reply within 5 minutes, the intention of buying reduced by 70%. But
if we don't have instant gratification, right? We're gonna...
Correct. It's like, I saw this on Instagram. I feel like I really want it. And then where can I get it? And then they had to wait. The longer we wait, the more the excitement kind of wears down, right? So by the time you reply to them, it's like, let me think about it.
When they say, let me think about it, it's really
no.
Not interested, right? They just don't want to say no, right? They don't say no. They just want to make it a nice, soft no landing. So
correct. But I do have a lot of people who tell me I'll think about it. Maybe 2 in 10, they would actually sign up. They would actually think about it. They just need to maybe get their finances in order or discuss with the husband or not 100%.
But it also depends on how much they want that. For instance, something that you want it immediately. Just say you want to eat ice cream, right? You can't get that flavor or your order can't come in the next day. Then you'd be like, it's okay. But a program, which I think is an investment in that person's own growth and learning, they may put more effort into really thinking about it compared to an ice cream.
Yeah. You're right. Absolutely right about what it is that they're desiring. So
Yeah.
for me, sometimes, we find, I might have a discovery call with someone and they say, I really want this. Let me think about it. And I never hear from them again. But you'll be surprised. Sometimes they do come back 6 months later. And out of nowhere, it's like, oh, I think I recognize this name. Like, sometimes I've forgotten. And then and then she's like, remember? I was like, oh, okay. Right after the coaching call. And then she tell me about her business. I'm like, yes, we did talk.
Yeah, okay.
You did not just come out of like nowhere.
And I think a lot of people actually would probably think about it because like any program, it is an investment, right? Of their own time, their own energy, and of course, resources. So you're talking about the first two programs. You say in demand is not really for everyone. So what the community you talk about just now, momentum coaching, is that for everyone who is in your MomBoss Go program or?
Yeah. It's for everyone. Usually they are there because they have gone through my program. They sort of like the way I'm coaching. But we also have a big group who hasn't been to any program. So they just join Momentum first. They just want to see, what is discussed, whether they like my style of coaching. And then later on, they will decide to maybe jump in sales mastery or in demand. So the reverse is also true.
So to get into your momentum coaching program, is there a subscription that you have to pay?
Yes, there is a monthly and yearly subscription fee. So of course, if you go monthly, it's $57 per month. You can cancel anytime. So if you join, you don't like it, next month you're traveling, you can cancel. Of course, if you join with the annual rate, there's a bit of a discount. I think it's like 30 to 40% discount.
They can just join that and to just check it out. And
check it out. That's like tons of, mini short training that I've done, like Facebook ads, how to get your Facebook ads up and running. And then we also have other experts sometimes to come in and teach about YouTube or marketing, or we have like astrology, that sort of things. And plus the twice monthly group coaching. So that means
led by you.
Which is led by me. Yeah. So we do it every 2 Wednesday, every alternate Wednesday, one at 10 a.m. Singapore time and one at 9 p.m. because some can make it during the day and some can make it at night and some can make both. So once we put it in advance, I got to make myself available. It's really for them because sometimes they can make it, they can't make it during the day, and it's recorded as well. So we have members. Yes, they can replay. So I have members who have been in there for like 2 to 3 years. I've never seen them attend live, but I can see that they log on to watch the recording.
Interesting.
Yeah, even during group coaching, we sometimes have 20 to 30 people joining us at the same time, but maybe only 5 to 10 that would ask questions. The rest just like to be there and just listen and learn from the others and wait for others to ask questions.
Yeah, I think maybe it's like, they're just looking and trying and learning, from you.
Yeah, correct. Sometimes we just don't have any question, like, business doing okay, and sometimes we don't know what we don't know. So when we rely on someone else to ask a question, you're like, that's a good question. Maybe I could apply it into my business. So I think if in any community you are in, when you expose yourself to it, then you get to learn more by the power of the community. And I always believe that, one brain, you can't make up much, but with 2 brains, it's not the sum of 2 brains. It's like 3 brains, right? Yeah. When you put things together. Yeah.
Sometimes people in the room could ask a smart question that you probably wouldn't even think about, right? Because based on our own perspective, our own experience, we only have that one question in mind. But somebody else could be thinking from a different perspective and ask a fantastic question.
Exactly. And sometimes they do ask questions that I cannot answer. I cannot pretend to know everything. Sometimes I'm like, I don't have experience in that. And then you get other people start, helping each other. I'm like, okay, I'll just sit back and let them go for it.
Yeah, and let them have a conversation about it, right?
Yeah, they'll be like, I have been in the sustainability business. I do B2B, so I know exactly what these people are thinking, and this is how you structure a contract. I'm like, thank you.
Okay, so the final one that I wanted to learn about, your sales mastery, right? And what is sales mastery and who is it for, first of all?
People who does sales, like one-on-one sales. Typically, if you have high value offer, if you're selling a $50 thing, you don't need lah. Okay, like if you're selling like something in the hundreds or thousands, then yeah, for those who needs to have sales conversation with their sales prospects to understand what makes people buy, right? So it's not just about telling people the feature. And it's also not just telling people about benefit. It's actually sales. I always say that sales is an experience, right? People have this misconception that people don't like being sold to. It's not true. We love being sold to if it's a great experience, right? Just like how we love going to, let's say, a luxury boutique, right? They sit you down, they give you a glass of champagne. I don't even drink, but it feels nice, right? And then they present you this thing. And then when they take out the bag, they put on the gloves and, hold it like that, show you the card. All of that is an experience.
Yeah.
It's not like, here's the bag, here's got a good, this color and how many color you want, it helps you this, it carry this. It's not about that. So really so sales mastery is about teaching people the psychology behind why people buy and the different stages that you need to take your prospect through so that they sell themselves. People have this mindset that being a good salesperson is that you have to constantly be talking. You don't. A really good sales conversation is I let you talk. I just ask the right question for you to discover for yourself is if this is the right fit. We're not trying to be pushy. We're just helping people discover why they need it or why they don't need it. Even, it may end up, they don't need it, but they have a good feeling coming off that conversation with you. And I think that's a successful salesperson should be like.
And so that is not for everyone, right? The sales mastery
program. That's not
program.
for everyone, yeah. Only if you need to have that one-on-one, high ticket sales.
Okay.
People who are like in insurance, maybe even real estate, coaching, high-end coaching. Yes. So typically we have, people who are in that category who would be in sales mastery.
So now my question when you were talking about all this is like, how did you decide what programs to create?
Oh, okay. This is an easy one.
Is it based on demand?
Yeah, exactly. Based on demand. Like just exactly like what I teach people inside MomBoss Go. Every time I come up with a new product, I go through the same process as what I teach in MomBoss Go. Really find out, to these days, I just see what sort of question they ask me. What sort of problem do they ask me? What are they missing here? I think they need this. And then I sort of like bring it back to them again and say, if I could teach you this, would you be interested to purchase it? So all of my program, I did the same. I pre-launch all of them. Before I even go and record my video, I just tell people, I have this program. I'm going to teach you from no idea what to do in a sales conversation to getting people to there's different stage that I give you the list of questions that you can ask, understand the psychology behind it, your own mindset going to a sales conversation. Would you like that? And then if there's enough people who say, yes, okay, I create the payment link. You can sign up here, but do know that the first module will be dripped out to you every 2 weeks. So once I have the payment, people are buying, then damn right, I have to go and create the program.
That's where your work comes in, right?
Exactly. So sometimes I do. I'm like, sometimes I do get lazy and I'm like, if nobody's then also good lah. I don't need to go do it. And it's like, people actually sign up. Oh, damn, I really have to like,
you have to start doing it already.
Yeah.
You start producing it.
Exactly. And sometimes that's a good push. Because sometimes people wait until they have the product. And then they procrastinate. Today don't feel like doing it lah. Tomorrow don't feel like, and then months later, they still don't have a program because they just procrastinate. They feel like I'm not ready. But because I have already sold it, people are expecting it, it pushes me to go and do it. So I'm a bit like that. Yeah. So I think I'm a top procrastinator. So I need those deadlines to push me to go get things done.
That's also interesting because you actually follow your own steps, right?
Yeah.
You also follow your own process in launching your program, launching your products. So yeah, that's really good to know, because that was the thing I was thinking, like, how do you create? I mean, how do you know where these people are going to come and say, hey, Michelle, do you have this program? So if that's how you create programs, what is the next program that's going to come out, if any? Has there been any unusual requests from your people?
Sometimes people ask me, can you teach me about Facebook ads? But I still feel like I'm not such a good person to teach. Then I would just sort of recommend them to someone that I would know. It's not like all request is taken by I think I have enough knowledge to teach this as well. So not all requests is, and it also depends on the number. If there's 1 or 2 odd requests, then I probably, won't think about it. So is anything coming up? At the moment, we don't have anything in the pipeline, but I am forced to come up with a short program. Because recently I had to do a talk for Nest.io. So it's a platform for people to create community. Any WhatsApp community, you can use that platform to monetize your WhatsApp community. So they have, I think, thousands of people all around the world. So they invited me to talk and they allow me to make an offer. So I don't know what came over me lah. So I make an offer to, teach people who have a community and learn how to create their first offer to sell to the community. So I offer it as a 3-parts workshop. So it's kind of similar to MomBoss Go, but not really MomBoss Go, because they already have their target audience. They already have a close community within a specific interest, right? On a specific interest. So it's slightly easier. And so that's something that I need to get done because I've already offered it and people are signing up. I mean, they have signed up for it.
And they have paid for it.
Yes, yes, they have paid for it. So okay, that's one more thing that I have. But the good thing is, yes, I only need to create it once. But then, like I mentioned earlier, in demand, we teach you that become an asset in my business. Right? So for example, MomBoss Go, In Demand, Sales Mastery, it's been created. It was hard during the creation, but now every time I enroll student into it, I no longer have to teach the same, repeat myself again and again. I just do the group coaching. The baseline, the foundation of what they need to know is recorded, and that saves me a lot of time. If I don't do that, I won't be able to handle this many students.
And that's the beauty of digital, right? And that's the reason why both of us love digital so much. I love digital because it really makes life easy, because you really can scale things up a lot faster than you would as compared to a non-digital business.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So in your case, would you encourage people to start digital businesses versus, regular retail?
Oh, yeah, definitely. First of all, you don't need to deal with inventory, right? Or seasonal inventory. And if it's fashion, then it's got to be if it's out of fashion, you got to constantly come up with new stock, right? So yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So that's why in MomBoss Go, during the product creation module, we separate that into physical product and online products, digital product.
Okay.
Yeah. Because it's slightly different in creation for both. One is sourcing or R&D, and the other one is,
Okay, so that it also covers both, just in case the person says, I just want to try one or the other, or maybe try both, right?
Yeah, so usually through that, we'll get them to try one first. I mean, once they launch it, and then if they want to, go the other one, then you just basically go back and just follow the steps and then launch a different kind of business or different kind of products.
And that's really smart, because you don't want to be launching many things at a time.
Correct. Yeah. Then you get confused and the market get confused. Which one are you talking about, right?
So one of the things I always wanted to ask you is, are there any strategies you can share about building businesses? And especially, I know you build businesses online, right? And that's your favorite business to build. And because of the creating the assets and knowing that once you do it, even though it takes you some time, and then of course, like you say, procrastination kicks in, but no matter what, once you build it, it's there and it's your asset that you can offer over and over again. So are there any strategies that you can share with the audience about building businesses online? Or tips?
To me, I mean, there are many strategies online, many tips and hacks, right? But I like to tell people to think long-term. Don't think short-term strategy, short-term hacks, right? So whatever, because I see a lot of people when they started a business and they're like, think of in terms of marketing, how do I get people to buy my products? Is they will try anything. They come on, YouTube or podcasts and say, oh, there's one strategy, let me try that. And then if it didn't work, they abandon that and try another strategy. So what I like to do is I think of a business as a long-term vehicle, right? So what do you build? The more you build into the business, the better it is. I mentioned this earlier, I think like right at the start, is that stop running your business like you're still employed. Stop being self-employed, right? There are vital things in our business that only we can do. Make sure you do some of that at the start of your business. I get it. You may not be able to hire people first, or there's not a lot of employee first. You don't want to add that to your business. But yes, the functional roles like sales and marketing, product development, and then the logistics, right? All of that needs to be done. Admin needs to be done. But spend some time also thinking about what's the value of the business, what's the messaging, what's the vision, mission, what's your thought leadership around this industry. Because that in the long run is going to help you more. And that in the long run going to help you stand out in your industry amongst all your competitors, right? Think of it in like a long term. And also like for your content, instead of creating Instagram or posts like that, I mean, you need to, but do think about, can you create content that's more evergreen that you can put on YouTube, a podcast, or on your own blog that has SEO value to it? So that 5 years from now, if anyone looking for that specific term or, YouTube video that happen to watch yours, it still drives people to your landing page, right? If you have a funnel set up, that will eventually get them to have a sales conversation with you, or eventually drive them to your sales page that they can purchase from you. So do think about, what channel am I building, right? What sort of assets am I building into my business that eventually, when you have enough of these things, that you can work less in your business. Besides MomBoss Academy, I have 4 more businesses. I only work half a day because I have all these assets set up for me. And almost on a daily basis, I would have strategy call and discovery call booked with me. And because I only open my calendar from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. So typically I do 2 to 3. And I don't do any of the outreach to get these leads to me. And all of these are incoming leads through the funnel that I've set up, the content that have that continues to build credibility and attract people to me. And so I think that has really helped me, and that's what I'm hoping that more business owner could consider. So those are really good strategies and tips. It's not one single strategy, but it's just really think big. What sort of puzzle can you put in place? And I also believe that from what you were saying, it's really build it for the long term, right? Yes. It's not just build it for today, tomorrow, or a month from now, but just build it for the long term so that you can enjoy the ROI from it. If I can put it that way, the ROI that keeps coming in over and over again. Once you've set up your foundation, you've created your assets, you've created your systems and everything that you want, for the business. And maybe that is the tough part, right? In the beginning, that is the part that is a headache sometimes. Definitely. It's not it's not sort of like, it doesn't happen overnight. But the more you start putting in, we need to work in our business anyway, but make sure whatever you do is intentional, that helps you in the long run. But and I like how you say it, so I definitely gonna rewatch this and live to what you just said, because you say it so much better than I did.
What did I say? I'm just paraphrasing.
Summarize what I just said in like 3 sentences. I'm like, okay.
And then now you've got my listeners probably interested. Michelle's got other businesses. Okay, what are the other businesses now? Now we're going to go down that route, right? Like what businesses? What other businesses do you have?
Okay, so we have Chill Mom Kitchen, which is an online kitchen. It's like an online restaurant that delivers to people, called Chill Mom Kitchen. So basically, it's a collaboration between myself and Cloud Kitchen. So they run the operation. I'm basically just the face and marketing for it. So that's one business. I also have a robotics for kids school. So that was actually an investment. That the founder was one of my students, and he was lacking the know-how and the money to sort of kickstart it. So I invested, our resources and time into it. So he runs the most of it, and sometimes, occasionally, I help market it. And then we also have an agency that we help people build funnels. Because a lot of time I teach people how to build funnels, and then they're like, this is great, Michelle. I understand that I need it, but I just don't have the time to build it. Can you just build it for me? And because I've been building for my own businesses, so I'm like, sure, we could do it. So now we have, sort of like an agency that we build that for people. How many are there already?
3.
3 plus MomBoss Academy, and also my media business. So you can still continue like my blog, that how I started my whole this journey, right? So my blog, my social media, all of this, we still work with brands for sponsored content. So we still have one person who's in charge to connect with brands, to continue to put out content for them. And that's where I got most of my ambassadorship and also speaking opportunities that comes to me as well. Yeah.
Wow, fantastic. You have so many things going on. And you're still...
that way.
And I think also it suits your personality, right? You're a very active kind of person, and you want to do... Even though you say you're a procrastinator, I think deep inside Michelle is like, yes, I want to go and do all these different things. And all the things are interesting.
I'm the kind of person who cannot sit still. As soon as I'm like free, oh my God, there's nothing else to do, I'll start like... the ideas start coming, and I'm like, oh, okay, maybe I should look at the long list of projects that I'm like, okay, I'm going to tackle that someday. And it just keeps getting longer.
Yeah. Because I think part of the beauty of entrepreneurship is the creation, right? The ability to create.
Exactly.
You probably won't find, sometimes you will find it when you're under employment, sometimes if you have the right opportunities. But most times in entrepreneurship, as entrepreneurs ourselves, we love it because we can create, we can play. It's our way of playing, but it's not the typical playing, but you play with, ideas, testing this, trying out, and then suddenly tomorrow you probably build another digital asset just because you decided, I think I want to build that. So I think that is the beauty. I always think of things like, whatever you want to do, I think part of it is a lot of creation. And if you can create, you feel very fulfilled. Whether you're creating sourdough bread, whether you're creating herbal wrapped chicken or wrapped chicken, or baby food, or things that help you feel like, wow, you're doing something and you're making something, whether it's with your hands physically or online. Yeah.
Yes, you're so right. I think as human beings, we need that sort of outlet for ourselves and know that we're capable of coming out with whatever it is that, that comes from our imagination, and just really bring it to life.
We have covered quite a lot today. And so before we end, is there a final takeaway that you want to leave my listeners with?
A final takeaway. This may not be related to what we just said, but I think sometimes we are the limit to our own success, as in we want to achieve a lot of things. most of the time, right? Most of the time we're like, we want to do this, we want to do this. And especially with women, after working with so many of them, I find that they think too small. Or I think that I sometimes also have these excuses to sort of limit myself. While, we go on social media, we see other people doing great things and we think that that's good for her, but I won't like to do that because And we're just kind of like finding excuse for ourselves, or I want that, but that's not possible for me because So I think just know that, it's up to you. If you are truly happy where you are, then that's fine. But if you're not happy, if you know that you are meant for more, stop stopping yourself. Like, stop limiting yourself. Stop talking yourself down. Because if you don't believe in yourself, who would, right? And the other day I had this realization that just right after yoga, lying down there, and I realized that, oh my God, I'm 43 this year, right? And if I'm lucky, I live until 80, and I pretty much live more than half my life. And if I'm still holding myself back, if I'm not going all in whatever it is that I hope to have achieved or impact more people, if I don't do it now, then when? So yeah, that's the last message that I like to leave people with.
That is also a good message, because I think, as you said, right, a lot of people give themselves all these excuses why they can't do it, rather than tell themselves why they can do it. And I think part of it is also because we condition ourselves, right? It is all this self-talk that is not really helping or not helping us grow in the way that we want to grow. So I think that's a really great message.
I don't think that, entrepreneurship is meant for everyone. If you're a perfectly happy stay-at-home mom that makes you fulfilled, that you get to spend your time with your kids and be the best parent they can have, then that's good for you. But if there's something else that's going to tug at your heart and you can't stop thinking about it, why are you still holding yourself back? Just go for it. There's really nothing we can lose anymore.
Yeah. Also, the older we grow, I think the bolder we are.
Yes.
I think we just don't really
in mindset, like the bolder we are. Yeah. But not in like the physical thing.
Yeah. Sometimes, at a certain age, you're like, I don't give a damn anymore, sometimes.
Correct. Like, I don't care what people think of me anymore. We kind of know ourselves. Yeah.
Yeah, and we're comfortable. And then the good thing is, if you're comfortable in your own skin, you know what you want. And honestly, like both of us believe, right? It's not really entrepreneurship is the answer. But if that is something that you may want to explore, that is also something that you could try and explore and see whether that fits what you have in mind for yourself. Because if you don't, like you say, right, wait until you're 80 and you'll be like regretting, I wish I started that. I wish I had started my business when I was in my 40s or 30s or whatever age that you are in right now. Yeah. So
the time is now.
Yeah. So thank you once more, Michelle. I rarely have guests coming back second time.
Thank you. I feel so honored.
But I like first of all, I like your story, and I also told you before this that I really believe that what you're doing is very useful for moms and even men, not the moms, also the men out there who are interested to do something for themselves or start something that they want to start. So thank you so much, Michelle, and I will put all the links in our show notes so that anyone who's interested in what Michelle is doing, want to get in touch with her, they can definitely reach out to her through the links that we'll be sharing.
Thank you, Krista. I really, really appreciate this. Thank you.
And now, as we wrap up this fantastic episode with Michelle Hon from MomBoss Academy, do remember to check out the other episode that I had with her in Season 4. In that episode, she shares her own entrepreneurial journey and how she came to build her business. Check the show notes for all the links. In this episode, Michelle enlightened us on the concept of building assets for your business. Your programs, services, and offerings can be valuable assets that generate long-term revenue. It's not just about creating something for now, it's about crafting a sustainable foundation that keeps giving. You can also take a cue from Michelle's playbook and reverse engineer the process of building your business. Understand your target market, listen to their needs, and identify the problems you can solve. Success lies in aligning your offerings with what your audience truly desires. Michelle shared an important strategy about pre-launching your offer to test the waters. Before fully committing, gauge interest, collect feedback, and ensure there's a market for your product. It's a strategic move that can save time, resources, and set you on the path to creating something truly in demand. Remember, these takeaways are not just food for thought. They're actionable steps that can transform your entrepreneurial journey. As we close this episode, I encourage you to reflect on these insights and apply them to your own business. Thanks for tuning in to Womenpreneur Asia. This is Krista Gun, your host, signing off. Catch you in the next episode.